3, 2, we are live.
This is 2OF Entertainment.
What could be more reprehensible than 2 old farts? 3 old farts featuring Dave and Steven and Greg Shapiro with funny ha-ha.
And we are back.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's the ha.
Oh,
You gotta love it when the host of the show just starts laughing. So
yeah. Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
showing enough of the
well,
Dutch
he
fun.
gets
There you
that free, of course, with his job description. He's a comedian.
Yes.
He gets
Oh,
free laughs.
Wait,
He gets
so
free
you were
laughs.
wondering what's going on? Wait, David, what's going on behind you? That is
Well, what would you like to be? Is there something happening behind me that I don't know about?
the painting. This very
Oh,
Oh, the
dramatic.
painting.
Yeah.
The
That
painting.
is one
Yeah,
of our artists.
that-
That is from
there you go.
Rusty's Art, who is an artist on our show.
Ah.
And the painting behind me, this girl over there, that's one of his paintings
What's
as
this one,
well.
Rusty?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
He
And
very
This is all
kindly
a
sent us the paintings, which we
Yes.
thought was really good.
Wait, did he ever see you've seen the creation of David? You've seen that sweatshirt that has us on, right?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
from him as well. Yeah.
Okay. That's
In fact, this
okay, cool.
there you go. And this week, Rusty
Yeah.
is recording a show that will air next week for the fans of Rusty. He'll be back. He took a hiatus because he needed to rejuvenate
Okay.
or get out of drug rehab. I always get that confused. I don't know.
Right.
So you go either way.
Yeah.
Same thing.
And
apparently, yes.
I'm upstairs in the man cave slash junk room.
Okay.
And so things got moved around a bit. So that's why she's on the wall behind me. Well, I've moved the desk around. So hence
What does it mean? Some
I think it works really well because I'm sure when Vicky sees that one of our ladies who does rather, that will scare the crap out of her.
yes.
So it's
it's
very
It's got a dramatic flair. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Greg is patriotic. He's got the American flag and the
Yes.
the Netherlands there. Look at him.
I'm on brand. The
He's
American
on brand. Yes. The
Yeah.
American and Netherlands.
Hey, you've been all over the TV.
Yeah.
Here, mate. I mean,
You're
you've
like
been
a famous
popping up
guy.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Dutch TV,
I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
That's true. 6 people watch that, I think. So it's
yeah.
But on LinkedIn
Well,
too. I've seen your stuff on LinkedIn
7.
and everything.
I watched it 7 of us.
Yeah. Oh, good. Yes. The so last Tuesday, it's a Tuesday now. But last week was Super Tuesday in the US. And so I had Dutch TV cameras up in my face asking, what's the deal? You're American, you can vote, right? And it was, me explaining the global presidential primary and how that works.
Could you explain it to us?
Well, yeah. So Stephen, you're in the U.S. Did you are you voting in the primary elections for?
Stop it! I don't mental masturbate for nothing, and that is the biggest joke in the world because we pick nothing, and we already know Trump's going to win. So, why bother?
Right. Well, we certainly know, the nomination,
Right.
who's going to win both. Yeah, Trump.
Oh, did that lady fall out? The one I voted for?
Nikki Haley, as of Super Tuesday, said that Nikki is no longer. But somebody said something interesting. They said it'd be interesting if Nikki Haley became the vice president running mate for the Democratic Party, because she said that would unite the Republicans and the Democrats because it would be a crossover. And then everybody was like, but Kamala Harris, they'll be upset that, we don't have a black lady as the vice president. I go, first of all, I have not seen Kamala Harris in the news since she's been the vice president, other than she's at the State of the Union address. Right. And my idea of Michelle Obama becoming the president nominee for the Democrats, I think that put her and Nikki Haley together. Now you got a winning ticket.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Right.
Okay,
well, I hope she does, because I spent a fortune on I was lighting candles for her every day for Nikki.
I see Nikki Haley. Yes,
there's Church of England.
Cost a fortune. No, I had to go down to the local, the local other place, the one we don't talk about place, and light candles, because Church of England we don't light candles. Well, only for warmth. Only for warmth, because it's always cold in Protestant churches. But
that's true.
Yeah.
So Super Tuesday, for people around the world that aren't familiar with it, basically, and Greg is going to explain it to you, is where we pick people to run our country, and they screw it up. And every 4 years, we do it again.
Yeah, there you go.
Right.
But I'm sure he explained it in much more eloquent than I just did. So please tell us what it is.
Well, he did it in Dutch, which was even better.
I actually
Really?
did. Yeah,
Very
not as
nice.
but I did it anyway. They were asking me about let's see, what is the global presidential primary, and that is a fairly new phenomenon. So it used to be that if you want to vote for presidents absentee while you're overseas or abroad, then you'd have to all do that by mail. Primary voting, like, not really a thing. Then so that you could vote for the primaries, but also absentee. And I think since 2020, it's the first time that the Democrat Party, anyway, organized an international, there are a certain amount of delegates to the Democratic primary that are for expats. So,
oh wow,
Americans by state, but Americans living outside the states.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's
first thing
cool.
you do when you show up is like, I promise not to vote for president in my home state like I used to, but now I'm switching allegiance, like from the state of Illinois to the state of expats outside the U.S. So
gotcha. So you can't vote for Lincoln. Got it.
You can, right? Yeah. So, you might as well, because I mean, the time it takes for the absentee ballots to arrive and be counted
to get there. Yeah, right. 407 years ago, it's the same thing. So
takes 407 years for your ballot.
7 years to get there. What?
So great, you got dual nationality. Are you allowed to vote here?
I have dual, yes. Hence the flags. So yes, I voted in the Netherlands. Sorry about that. Last November, and I vote in the U.S. as well. Nice. And I'm teaching my kids, if you have
you got to do that,
a passport, you have a duty to at least
and then they give you a stamp, and then you pay. Yeah, you got a duty and a stamp, and then you pay. Sure. Yeah. So no, I decided many years ago that this is a crock. And I was like, it's very nice that because you don't win by popular vote, you win by our Electoral College, which is a bunch of, pardon my French, bullshit. And I'm like, when it goes to popular vote, I will then waste my time to vote.
Okay.
Because if not, the Electoral College picks whoever they want. It doesn't go by popular vote. It goes by whatever the state and whoever's running it. If it's a Republican state, they vote a Republican. If it's a Democrat, they go. So the Electoral College is so bogus. And I'm like, I can't be bothered to waste my time. And that's how I look at it. And when it's be a popular vote like the rest of the world, then I'd be like, my one vote makes a difference. But if I vote for whoever and they get 10 million more than the other guy, but the Electoral College is controlled by whatever party the other guy wins, I'm like, I wasted my time to stand in line for 7 hours.
Oh, 7 hours. Oh, no. They couldn't even serve you water because they
can't do anything. But that's my whole point. Our process of our democratic crap is ridiculous.
All right. Well, first of all, to react to that, a lot of people, friends of mine, have said, like, man, if voting ever changed anything, they'd make it illegal. And then I'm asking, well, why do you think that's exactly what they're trying to do? Like in the state of Texas, in the state of Georgia, certainly. In Wisconsin, where I have now a voter ID. So
wow, that's why you're going to go to be a cheesehead for a week.
Nice. Yeah. Going to vote for I mean, the Netherlands connection, the dairy, the Dutch, the dairy, in
the dikes. I know. Yeah, it's nice.
But so there are a lot of people trying to. Well, there's one party in particular trying to discourage people from voting, and anyway, so it's I guess that's if you go at that deductively, then you can figure out, I guess,
some deductive
voting must be able to change things if they're so eager to stop.
Well, they keep gerrymandering. Like there's a whole
gerrymandering.
The gerrymandering is just for people that don't know what gerrymandering is outside the United States. Gerrymandering is where they keep changing the voting district to make it either predominantly white or black. And more they switch
Republican or Democrat mostly.
And they make it more predominantly black to make them harder to vote.
Does that name come from the person who originally did that?
That is correct. I've had a whole part in my theater show about this gerrymandering.
Yeah.
Gerrymandering.
What about his cousin then? It'll be Simon Orange because you got gerrymandering. Simon Orange.
Gerrymandering. I see what you mean there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think the jokes are a bit fruity today.
Just so you know, David slays him. He slays himself constantly.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. No, I don't even want to talk about it. Oh, golly. Okay. Eldridge Gerry was a governor of Massachusetts in the early 1800s. And he ended up getting elected and redrawing the voting districts as soon as he got into power. And someone said that the voting district looks like it's supposed to look like, sort of blocks or, at least contiguous shapes. But the district that he drew it looked like a salamander. Gerrymander. So that's where the term gerrymander comes from. But it's basically the process by which politicians choose their voters instead of voters choosing their politicians.
Welcome to America. I know.
And this is like this is from the land of the free, is it?
The
perception.
Nothing's free, man.
Well, here's a lot of people I talk to are very worried, and we're going to get into the climate stuff here in a little bit, but a lot of people are talking to are very worried that the orange man may really win, and that the orange man has made it very clear that this will become 1932 Germany, and we saw how that went for them. So a lot of people are looking at how when it's maybe time to leave America. There's a rehearsal. So so and that's going to be very interesting, I think, to see how that comes about, because if nobody stops him, he really will turn this into a dictatorship, and that's going to be bad.
Is that so? This is really Stephen. You're really coming. You're showing the politics on your old sleeve there. That's interesting.
I saw
a little clip this morning of some speech. I don't know when he did it. Mr. Trump.
Was it when he did this?
Yeah, and he was saying something like, a friend said to me, hey, how do you do it and everything? He said, well, they've been hounding me with this and subpoenas for this and subpoenas for that. They've been doing that for 7 years. But I get up every morning for you. That's what he told the public.
And his wife goes, please don't.
So that's the reason why he's going to be president of America again, because of you. There you go.
Because it's those people who keep listening to the So about that, it's I think it's terrible and awful. And is it a threat to democracy? Sure. I don't know if it would be immediedly as awful. I do know that, there have been enough articles about members of the Trump White House, from 2017 on. They were not prepared, and so now those same kind of creepy figures, Stephen Miller and Steve Bannon and whoever, they're actually getting better prepared to, be able to really instate a Muslim ban or all the devious plans that they get thwarted the first time around. But I think the big thing they want to do is and I can't think of the name of this rule change. It's a federal law that would allow the president to fire everybody, basically.
It's called dictatorship. It basically wants to put his own people, his kids. But here's the problem, though. Let's say he does win, and let's just play it out. And in 2028, there'll be no election. It'll be like Putin in Russia. He'll get rid of the opposition because it seems like, and listen, I don't know anyone at the FBI or the other agencies that don't technically
the deep
exist.
state, David.
Yes. I deep state. Yes. By the way,
have another election, and it'll be the last one. It'll be
you're short of Trump. 10,000 views, just so you know, on our channel. But anyway, but what my thing is that if the FBI or the CIA or the DOD or the Army, Navy, don't try to stop him when he tried an insurrection, at some point, then they're just going to be like, okay, we'll just follow the orange man. And then you really do have Germany, 1932 into the 1940s. And we saw how that worked. And at some point, somebody bigger is going to come along and kick our ass and be like, oh no, we're not going to have this. And, whether it's China, I don't think it'll be India, Mexico, whoever, but somebody, because you can't have America in all its glory go into a Russian Putin type state where we went from a democracy, if you will, now to a dictatorship. I don't think the people here are smart enough to know that, because they're all ostriches. They stick their head in the sand.
I just had this brain fart, business brain fart, right?
This is
I
gonna be
should
bad.
what I should be doing now is trying to
There we
find
go.
somebody who makes windows in the US and
Here
invest
it
in them,
comes.
because you're going to need a lot of windows
Oh yeah.
if Trump gets in, because
Why?
a lot of people are going to be thrown out of windows, and you're
Oh,
probably going
thrown
to run
out
out of. Yeah, you're
Oh,
probably
that's
going to run. You're going to run out of windows to throw people out of.
right.
So if you
Right.
invest in a company that makes windows, hey,
Yeah. I
double
would
bubble.
say home windows, a lot of windows will be broken. A lot of people who are living in glass houses, but
Yes.
my uncle lives in Missouri. That's in the
It's a
southwestern
show me
part.
state.
Yeah,
Sure.
the show me state,
Yeah.
and they show me the money as well, which
Yeah.
there's a lot
And
of
listen, we
a lot
give
of
credit where
retirees
credit.
going down there
Yes. Well, we
getting
give
a lot
credit
of
to where
money.
credit's due. Trump did a few things where he did. I don't want to say make America great. America's always been great, in my opinion. I'm an American, but he did
Totally
do
great.
things that kind of
I think
really
the
great.
best.
Thank you. The best, better than the best. You only use the best words there, Mr. Trump.
And then you have to use them twice as well.
That's
just in
right,
case
because
they-
and then he does this thing when he dances, which is like giving a blowjob to two guys. I don't get it, but anyway,
I thought he was
so-
just flossing his teeth when he was doing that. But
yeah, I think it's something else. But
It's a
anyway,
different kind of
when
flossing.
when he was president, he did do a few things that were like, okay, that is really good.
like
He did a
what?
lot of things that were like, he did like he got a little tough with China, which was good, like about
Oh,
tariffs and trade. I mean, and that's good, right? Because China does economic blackmail around the world with their trade, and that's
what did that mean?
is what it is.
What did that mean to America then? You got slightly less plastic toys in your Happy
Right.
Meals. I
The
mean, come
real
on.
difference with China was actually COVID and the not offshoring but reshoring. Of
Right.
Oh,
Well, that's my
yeah.
point. He kind of
Yeah.
helped in that, but then nothing ever happened from all these plants that came over and we're going to build stuff. They all put him on hold right after he left the presidency, right? So it's like he tried to do some stuff, but then
Sure.
any one good thing he does,
Yeah.
it's killed by the 50 stupid things that he
Right.
wants to do, like be
Right.
a dictator and get
Yeah.
rid of this and do that, and I don't know,
Yeah.
rule of law, little things like that make us a democracy. So it's like
Yeah.
you did, let's say out of your 4 years, we'll say you did 5 good things. It's the 500 things that
Yeah.
you tried to overtake and all that kills the 5 good. It's like
Yeah.
same with like Jimmy Carter. People thought he was the worst president, but he did more for foreign policy than most presidents. But they only remember the Iran hostage situation, right?
That was a
and
big
the
issue.
That was a big. I understand, but I'm just saying if you
and the
look at stuff
peanuts. And the peanuts.
and the peanuts, right? But if you look at these different presidents, they all have 1 or 2 things they do good. Some of
Yes.
them leave on excellent
let-
terms, and others
I'm gonna
don't
try.
because
Let's get back on track then and find out
Okay.
what did.
I can do that right now. Even Richard
Yeah.
Nixon had his positive points. He created the
Yeah.
Environmental Protection Agency.
There you go.
that is
There
true.
you go.
Richard Nixon, yeah.
We're right
And
there.
Richard Nixon created the health care that they call Obamacare. That is
yeah,
all Richard Nixon.
a lot of
And he took us
Republicans-
off the gold standard, that communist bastard. So,
But he wasn't very good. He wasn't very good with hand towels, so was he, Richard Nixon? Because his hands.
I think
were
Greg
always
passed
moist.
out.
His hands were always moist. He's gone. He's
This is my.
Greg?
I've got a little ADD sometimes. This is
Okay.
what keeps me focused. So
Gotcha.
can't
I have
drop
an
that.
MOUSC, so I understand.
yeah,
So,
So what did Trump? So what did Trump do for the climate then, Greg? Come on, Jim. What
but
did he do?
but other than that, Trump for the climate. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Or what should he do? Hold on. I'll be nice. What
Yeah.
should Mr. Trump do if he got into
no,
power?
what should any president
Or the
do for the
climate.
climate? Let's do it in broader question.
Oh, he's not part one.
Yeah.
It'll be Trump. What are we talking
There's there's what Biden is doing, legislatively, the Inflation Reduction Act, hence the half kind of almost Green New Deal.
Right.
It's he mentioned it, although I think I saw the first I saw the Biden State of the Union. He talked about climate in Biden's first election campaign ad, right? Did you watch that one? I was kind of wondering what would the top, arguments be, and one of them was I've taken on climate in a bigger way than any of my predecessors.
Okay.
My predecessor, the orange one, but even
Right.
Obama, so yeah, and arguably that is true. He's also ramping up, fossil fuel production to such an extent that it kind of cancels out the climate initiatives.
He makes the Saudis look like they don't know what they're doing. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
right?
they-
The U.S. is now outproducing Saudi Arabia.
Arabia.
in terms of just fossil fuels? Is that also natural gas? I'm not
Well,
sure.
I think we're out producing the Saudis right now and everything. And the Saudis are saying, listen, we're trying to pull back our production, even though Aramco has got like $17 trillion in cash and they're having $100 dividends and whatever.
Yeah.
But he's like, it's like we're out producing the Saudis. Don't worry about that. And then the Saudis are like, listen, we're getting more involved in technology and we're going to get more involved with clean tech. And we're doing this and you look at the Saudis and that whole region, UAE and Qatar, they're ahead of everybody trying to like climate change and get out of fossil. Meanwhile, the rest of the world who's talking about EVs and all this other ridiculous stuff is like, if we drill for more oil offshore or we do this here, it's better. And I'm like, aren't we the ones that are supposed to be like solar power, wind? What happened here?
Well,
we changed.
The UK government this morning said we're going to because we're going towards the green transition, we're now going to be building some more gas power stations.
Yeah.
Because we need those for when the sun doesn't shine and when the wind doesn't blow.
Right.
Whoa. Let's not get carried away about things that don't blow. So, it's just like.
Well, I mean, here's the question about Trump. I don't know what he could have done better. I mean, I do know that what all he's talking about now is canceling any climate initiatives that Biden, canceling that Biden put into place. Yeah, so that, because it's
because Biden's not the real president because Trump won the election in 2020.
Nice? I think that was another argument from the Biden thing. Like Trump, not Trump lost, but Trump failed. Like Trump tried to do an infrastructure bill, and remember that. And then I think he straight up used the word failed. Yeah. So
we said that on one of the other shows, it's on one of the shorts as well. That seems to be like they're talking about. So whatever you like, you said whatever you like, Mr. Trump, but you're actually a failure. You failed to win the election. You failed to do this. And this seems to be the only thing that really upsets him.
Upsets him and apparently works with, I don't know if you're going to win over any MAGA, voters, any diehard Trump voters, but a lot of people who are on the fence, apparently there's been enough survey or market research by, what's his name? The Fox guy. Anyway, but to figure out what works, what does make a difference, for people who maybe voted for Trump in 2016, but then Biden in 2020, and now they're on the fence again.
Everybody's on the fence. They said blacks, Latinos, and women are the biggest group on the fence for whether to go to Trump or Biden. And I'm kind of thinking, if that's an interesting group, like white males, apparently it's either Biden or Trump. It's like, apparently we just know. But the women and the blacks and Latinos are the ones that don't know. And what's interesting, I know if he becomes president,
thinking about his age, Steve. Maybe he's thinking about his age.
Yeah, Biden's the same age. At this point, Biden's the same. Age has nothing to do with it. I think it's just who do you want, less racist or racist? And I think the LGBTQ, MOUSC, MICKEY community, they're going to Biden because he's less homophobic. I think. If I read an article in The Economist that said they're leaning to Biden because Trump is very like, you can't be gay anymore. Apparently the Speaker of the House is a Christian guy and he wants to repeal same-sex marriage and this and that.
Yeah, Republicans in general.
Right. Yeah, you can't be gay. You have to be with someone of the opposite sex. And I'm thinking to myself,
politics and
the whole thing.
Don't you? Isn't it a disease? Can't they give you a tablet or something for it? That's what most Americans believe.
They're going to give you a tablet for it. Yeah,
just a tablet.
Just give you a tablet.
But
gay today, hetero tomorrow.
I'm going back to what I said. 1932 Germany, famous Hitler, right? You can't be gay. You can't be this. You can't be that. They're going to be X.
Sorry,
and that's it.
Yeah. But that's why I thought that it was interesting that the argument of vote for Biden, otherwise there will be no democracy and we'll be cast backward into Hitler's Germany. That did not come up in the first campaign ad for Biden, and it's fair enough. I think there was nothing really negative in there except for the dig on his predecessor.
You lost.
But anyway, we're half an hour in almost. I just wanted to bring up my theme, like climate.
Yes,
theme.
Please, climate change. But we haven't we only see you once a month. So it's like your favorite uncle. we got to get in everything before you're
Everything,
you got
I
to
know,
get back
isn't
on the
it?
plane, right? So we're trying to get it all in because we don't get to see you that often. So we're trying to we have to cover 80,000 things and then we get into
And
the climate. So
I'm going
let's
to
talk
try to
climate.
get as many as I can already
And
here.
you see, the problem is, Greg, that we were
Yes.
we were going to talk about climate, but we were so in awe of the fact that you're now also a Dutch TV star.
Yes.
That kind of rolled us into politics.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
I love it.
Sorry.
Get some more light in here.
All right. Why doesn't this work? The
I-
other day I did a thumbs up and I got
hope it's green.
fireworks.
I hope it's all green electricity you're using.
No. All
They are battery operated. At least I know that.
So tell
But
us what's
let's
going
see.
on in climate.
There's circularity. We're talking a lot, and I'm going to try to get to the batteries at the end here. Circularity is a big theme, you know, and yet I keep reading about people repurposing waste streams so that there's no such thing. It's zero waste, you understand, and that's the sustainable loop. It's very circular, and so yeah. If there's an example of coffee, for example, your coffee grounds, which now go into landfill or incinerators, now apparently they can be repurposed into actual coffee cups. So, let's reuse that stuff. Other people say you can reuse them. Some people are making them into, you can use coffee grounds to strengthen concrete.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm calling it the circularity cage match. And I have a few different examples of circularity or waste streams.
But what happens with the biggest problem of landfill in Holland, which is nappies? Are we going to recycle all the poo, or do we just let the politicians do that?
Yeah, right. Well, if there's one country that's going to repurpose the poop, it could easily be the Netherlands.
The U.S.
Dutch toilets with their inspection shelf and
the log inspection platform, I used to call it. Look back and say that used to be part of me. There you go.
That's anal retentive. When Sigmund Freud invented the term anal retentive, he must have been talking about a Dutch patient.
There you go. Now, coffee grounds, I know my mom used to put them in their plants, and that seemed to...
You can do that. You can use them as fertilizer.
Right.
And maybe for certain kinds of plants or not. The acidity, I believe, is very high.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess in terms of a cage match, I thought I would just try to determine which of these different repurposing strategies, which is going to have a bigger reduction of CO2 emissions, which is going to have a bigger impact on climate. And so anyway, coffee is a good one. I guess you can make coffee cups out of coffee grounds. That's neat, but I don't think it's going to have
as much. There's a Dutch company doing that now. They're making these coffee cups out of paper, or the capsules out of paper.
Yeah,
as opposed to making them out of aluminium.
In the Netherlands as well, there's a new initiative where the boss is supposed to say no more disposable coffee cups at the office. Now everybody's going to get their own reusable coffee cup. Each one has the little line on it. Every time you take a sip, it almost offsets my Dubai golf trip.
Yeah. Oh my God!
I'm trying out that joke. I'm trying it out. But anyway, so that's coffee. I have another one, which is sugar, coffee and sugar. Sugar cane. The creation of sugar and the stripping of the sugar cane and everything. There's a lot of residual left over. It's called, what is it called? Oh, I had it here. It's called bagasse. Bagasse. Exactly.
Right.
Bagasse. So anyway, the news there is that the sugar, you can either make biogas from it, or biogas from bagasse, or biofuels, or you can make sugarcrete. And again, sugarcrete is a kind of, I don't think it's augmenting cement or concrete production, but it can be repurposed. The fibers and everything can repurposed into building blocks. So actually, certainly in countries which are the bigger producers of sugar and sugar cane, close to it, instead of producing. They can even build homes, I think, with these organic blocks.
Sounds like you've been watching the channel. Okay, sounds like you've been watching the channel. We covered that on a business show.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway,
because I thought that was quite remarkable. The sugar creed.
I'm really wondering which is better for the environment. I don't know. What do you think? Is it biofuels?
Well,
to make
anything that can cut down the use of concrete. I mean, I love concrete. I wrote a thesis on it, but that's another story. But
really, okay.
I use it for shoes for people in New Jersey. So
yeah. So, but it's an incredibly offensive product for the planet.
And like Bill Gates, I mean, has said, I think Bill Gates keeps talking about how one of his biggest priorities is concrete. And well, that's interesting. I'm reading this book. I can't hold it up because it's an ebook now, but there's a book. It's called Not the End of the World by Hannah Ritchie. And she's part of the climate action tracker from the Our World in Data site. Do you guys know Hans Rosling, the professor from Sweden? Who
we had dinner the other night. He's a very nice guy. He likes his meatballs. So
he died in 2018, Steve.
Well, we haven't had dinner in a while.
Anyway, sorry, Hans Rosling. Rest in peace.
Very chewy meatballs. That's all I can say.
Such as
did you eat his meatballs? Have they been preserved?
What did the professor say?
That would be sorry. So one of his students, acolytes, is Hannah Ritchie. She's written the book called Not the End of the World, and it's all about how it's maybe not as bad as alarmist as you might think. And she's very careful to say, not a climate skeptic, not a denier, but whereas there are people saying we have to stop all economy and production, we should have another COVID pandemic so everything will stop and we can reset the climate carbon emissions. She's saying like we can't. Like you should be able to plan on building. You should be able to plan on continuing your economy and increasing the life expectancy. What am I saying? Style of life.
What she covers in her book. What she covers in her book. It says, but in this book, radically hopeful book data scientist Hannah Ritchie, who is Lionel Richie's daughter, argues that if we zoom out no one knew that, a very different picture of the facts, the data shows that we've made such progress on the problems that we could track to achieve, don't go, my screen just went blank, but to achieve sustainability for the first time in human history. He says, did you know that carbon emissions per capita are actually down? Deforestation peaked back in the 1980s. The air we breathe is vastly improved from centuries ago because it's better polluted for
even
you.
Decades ago.
And more people die from natural diseases than 100 years ago. That's what her book is basically covering. That's what it says on the Amazon. Oh, by the way,
there you go. That's a good blurb.
And there are more centurions than ever before, right?
They all have American Express black cards. Yeah, those little black cards everyone around with. There's more of those. Yeah, black card people.
Which is
guys, I'm turning orange. Are
you like a Mr. Trump?
But I'll wrap it up anyway. I have a third example, and then we can end on that one. But I thought, with the biofuels, I guess I'm going to say no. I think it's concrete and replacing concrete. I think that might make a bigger impact on the climate. And then if we can green or at least decarbonize the creation of concrete, I think that could make a big impact. The last one, what was I going to say was, well, indeed, I promised something about the
batteries. You said something about batteries. You want?
Let's go to what is it? It's wood chips. It's biomass versus biographite. Biomass is what they basically call, using trees to feed waste to energy incinerators, like to augment MSW, which is municipal solid waste. MSW as opposed to MLW. I guess that's as in municipal liquid waste. Anyway, solid waste normally goes into the landfill or to the incinerator, but now they can make energy or generate electricity with a turbine above the incinerator. So So there's you can use wood chips for that, or apparently you can use wood chips for biographite, and that is a way of supercharging lithium ion batteries. I think I have to
Interesting.
look that up again. Yeah, it is.
I thought they stopped on the
I'll
wood
put
chip
the
thing
link
because
in
it was
yeah.
so expensive and absolutely not, green. Or
Yeah.
because they had built these special power stations that just had these bio chips, like the stuff you get in a cat litter box.
Yeah.
Little
Compressed pellets. Yeah.
Yeah.
The material will soon be manufactured in the EU and the US, reducing dependence on Chinese supplies of graphite. And there we go back to China again. China. So yeah, apparently it's a company in New Zealand that is using discarded wood chips and making synthetic graphite. Now, I'm not sure what that means for the carbon emissions or whatever, but sounds like that could be the winner. What do you think? Would it be better as biomass or better as biographite?
I'm thinking biographite, right? Because we can build things with it. We can, you know what I mean? Wouldn't that make sense? I guess.
Well, like you said, you hate EVs, and maybe all the cars are becoming hydrogen fuel cells. I don't know.
There was an article 2 weeks ago in the FT about all these hydrogen planes and cars and trucks, and they said now the problem is how to get the hydrogen to, if, for lack of a service station to fill all the planes and the cars and the trucks. And all I keep thinking is the Hindenburg. And I'm thinking, right. And hydrogen right now is very cheap. It's kind of like what gasoline was in the 70s.
It's ready to blow up, man. This whole technology is ready to blow up.
Literally and figuratively. And that's what I'm looking at it like. So basically, I can fill my car for like $4, let's say, in hydrogen. But as soon as they get enough hydrogen cars out there, it's going to cost me just as much to use as I use petrol, right? So it's kind of one of these. It's like once we come up with something, we go crazy with it. And then I guess the real question is they were also saying, is hydrogen really that safe for the environment? I mean, like, now, of course, the scientists are tearing that apart. Like, is it good? Is it bad? I'm like, guys, I don't want to be rude, but nothing is 100% safe. So pick one.
No. Right.
I mean, the sun is safe and the wind is safe.
Betamax versus VHS. We're old enough to remember that.
Yeah.
And I think everybody said Betamax is just a better quality technology. But what do you know? VHS was cheaper and easier.
No, Betamax wouldn't have any porno on their platform. That's what started it all off. And the VHS boys said, we don't mind. So that's why it all got put on. That's why it all got put on the VHS.
That we did.
For real?
Okay. I didn't know that. That's very cool. But it's just interesting.
But I mean, wouldn't it be exciting? Then we wouldn't need any street lights anymore if we had hydrogen cars, because you just need like a few of them to blow up, have an accident on the way home, and everything would be lit up. I mean,
I have to do this daily. You can only have it once a month, every day. I have to deal with the logic of my partner here.
Oh, that was a good one. That made me chuckle, David. I'm happy.
He's happy that things are going to blow up.
Maybe we do agree biomass is not the way to go, and the biographite is hopefully that could be a bit of a game changer. Will we end up having hydrogen powered cars, hydrogen fuel cells, as well as EV, as well as the odd hybrid / internal combustion engine? Maybe
I did see a car with like 5 canisters in the back.
CNG. Biogas.
It was a hydrogen car, and it had these 5 canisters in the back, which you could just slip out and then take. You go to the gas station and get like a gas cylinder.
Then gas station would actually make sense.
Yeah.
Where you go to buy your biogas.
Pretty soon, it would be full of hippies, wouldn't it? Because they're always out for gas. It's a gas, man.
But think about this though. If they can really get it to work. So right now, the largest EV company in the world is BYD out of China, right? Warren Buffett's invested in it. It's out of China. Biggest company in the world, makes Tesla look like crap, which it is. Anyway, so BYD is awesome. So the thing then is the Chinese seem to be light years ahead on EV technology, right? They seem to be ahead of the US because Tesla's just using old technology. So to me, it would seem that I know Toyota and I think Kia and a couple of the others tried to do a hydrogen car, and it didn't go over well. I think China has a company that's trying, and there's not many of them, but they're like, they're trying to make it that they can come out in like 5 or 10 years with a hydrogen car that's safe for it. So to David's point, won't be blowing up and lighting up the night sky, but it'll be safe for people. So it seems like the Chinese are really trying to push ahead. Once again, the West.
What sort of thickness of canister would you have to have that gas in?
That's huge.
That you're driving. You're talking about the weight of batteries.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd have to have like a meter thick metal.
Well, what happens if you hit? Like, what happens if two cars get into a collision?
Well,
we do
the Hindenburg, don't we? I mean, it's like, you know,
it seems in terms of transport, like I get it, heavier, vehicles, trucks, buses, maybe even airplanes.
That makes sense.
Those be hydrogen, but then
because they make a really good. I mean, that light up the whole town. Then
exactly. Just one.
DHL has a hydrogen plane that they fly packages on. They also have an EV plane that they've been testing.
Nobody's ever seen it because it's DHL, so it'll never arrive.
Yes, that's very true.
But I mean, I know that's what it is.
The FT had articles on hydrogen planes that are out there that they're testing, and EV planes. I know the EV planes, you say, don't go as far as the hydrogen planes, but it's sort of like, my biggest concern is like, if you're driving in a hydrogen car, and you hit another hydrogen car, to David's point, am I going to get it to Hindenburg, or what's the safety measure to release it? And on an EV, Teslas allegedly just catch on fire, so it doesn't really matter. You can just drive and your car catches on fire.
But that's a big issue with EVs. It is in Europe, because if your EV stops or it has a fire, you have to have a special pickup truck to come along to pick it up. It's just they just can't, like the normal breakdown service. They don't come and pick your car up because it's an EV. And if it catches fire, the fire people keep away from it as a special team.
Really?
These states, it's quite complicated.
That's the laws of unintended consequences, and sometimes that ends up being a deal breaker.
So you much rather just have the whole mother load blow up, and all you got to do then is just sweep all the pieces up. It's a lot easier.
And light up your neighborhood, apparently, according to David.
Light up the sky. That'd be great.
I'll take all this information and I'll try to make it expand it a bit and put it into the next climate video.
Maybe that's the ultimate tagline then for your hydrogen car company.
There it is.
We'll light up your life.
Well, if I think the Doors in the '60s were ahead of their time with their song "Come On, Baby, Light My Fire." I think that's what the slogan is for your hydrogen car company. Come on, baby, light my fire, just in case. So, but I don't know. It's interesting. But gentlemen, it has been great. Is there anything on topic that you want to go before we say goodbye to the fans on climate?
No, I'm already checked out mentally.
He said I checked out in the first 30 seconds. So anything you want to promote, since we won't see you for 30 days.
That's true. I will be doing my show, Greg Shapiro Saves the Climate, coming up in around the Netherlands. Starting in April, I'll be starting to preview my new show, Leaving Trumpland 2.0, 2024 Election Survival Guide, and getting ready for the Boom Chicago show around the election as well. So three different shows I'm working on.
Nice.
It's good.
So you're not busy at all, which is good. So, well, maybe next month we'll get a little maybe if it's okay, maybe a smidget of the Trump 2024 thing. That would be very.
It's always going to be a preview. So it's great. And I'll see you in April. Thank you, guys.
We'll see you in April. Everybody, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Greg has his climate news on Saturday mornings. I think that comes out once or twice a month. So we'll promote that as well. And we'll put the links below to other things that Greg is doing. And if you like everything, tell your friend. And if you don't like anything, keep your mouth shut, as Mel Brooks would say. Cheers, everybody. See you next month. David, take us home.